It is a normal thing that students generally fear towards maths, which in turn makes it difficult for them to understand the subject. However, I see maths differently, and fortunately, I've taught several students using my unique style of imparting knowledge. Not only did they excel in their various exams, but they also learned to apply mathematical concepts to solve real life problems. Math is simple. Math is fun. In today's lesson, we're going to have the continuation of our linear equation. The objectives for today's lesson: one, quick review of the previous lesson. Two, um, what inverse operations are. We're going to learn what inverse operations are. And three, we'll learn in detail, step by step, how to solve linear equations. Quick review of the previous lesson, what inverse operations are, and the third objective is we will learn in detail, step by step, how to solve linear equations. Yeah, let us start. So, a quick review. In our previous class, we explain, we define what linear equations are. And our previous lesson, I mentioned that linear equations are equations that form a straight line when graphed, and I came up with examples. And I also mentioned that linear equations are equations where the highest power of the variable is 1. Have an equation like this. Whenever you see an equation having its variable is having 1 as its highest value, that shows that the equation is a linear equation. I get my point. That was all we mentioned, and I made mention of inverse operations. Today we're going to go into inverse operations in detail. I'm going to explain what inverse operations are in detail and how it is being used to solve linear equation. Let us proceed. Inverse operations. What are inverse operations? What are inverse? Do you know the meaning of inverse? Who can tell me the meaning of inverse? Who can tell me the meaning of inverse among you? You. What is inverse? Inverse simply means opposite in effect, nature, or order. Now, inverse operations. Inverse operations are pairs of mathematical operations that undo each other. They are pairs of mathematical operations that undo each other. They are used to solve equations by isolating variable. Underline that. They are used to solve equations by isolating variable. Understanding inverse operations is essential for solving equations effectively. Now, let me explain in detail. Inverse operations are pairs of mathematical operations that undo each other. Take, for instance, we have the mathematical operations that we have that appear. We have plus and minus. We have times and division. These are pairs of mathematical operations that undo each other. Are you getting it? These are what pairs. Let me give you an example. We have 3. We have 3. And before I go into this, let me tell you this. It is very important to know this mathematics. For any value written in mathematics, it has an operation. For any value written in mathematics, it has an operation. It has a mathematical operation with it. Be it written or unwritten. Like this 3 is having a mathematical operation with it. And the mathematical operation with it is plus, but it is not written because it is the one starting the mathematical expression. So it doesn't need to, we don't need to write this plus. So it is having plus, but you should bear that in mind that this 3 written that is having plus embedded in it, that is invisible attached to it. So to undo this 3, what do you think can undo it? That can take it back, that can reverse this action of 3. The only thing that can reverse this action of 3 is to have minus 3. Because you're having plus 3, the only thing that can reverse its action is what? Minus 3. Minus 4 cannot reverse it. Minus 2 cannot reverse it. Let's take, for instance, minus 2. So you are still going to have, let's take, for instance, minus 2. You are still going to have 1. 3, let's take, for instance, minus 4. You are still going to have what? Minus 1. I'm still going to explain this in subsequent class, in our subsequent classes. But 3, we're having plus 3. So to undo this action, we need minus. The inverse of this is minus 3. So you're going to have 0. Are you getting it? Are you? So that is, let's say for instance, you have minus 3. The inverse of minus 3 is what? I don't need to tell you. You need to tell me. What's the inverse of minus 3? If you want to use inverse operation, the inverse, get it. The inverse is what? Plus 3. So you're going to have 0. Are you getting it? Yeah, let us go to multiplication. For instance, we have our 5x. 5x is this. It is 5 times x. 5x is what? 5 times x. Are you getting it? So, and I said earlier that in solving equation, you need to isolate the variable. You need to what? Isolate the variable. And the variable is attached to a number. We call this coefficient. This 5 is called what? Coefficient. It is called what? Coefficient. So it is attached to this x by which operation? By multiplication. So to undo this, we need division. And the only number that can be used, the inverse of 5 that is attached to this. Because it is attached to x by multiplication, the only way to isolate this x is to bring the inverse of this 5, which is what? Division. To bring the inverse of the, because it is attached to it by this. Are you getting it? So we have, so 5x is, we've explained that it is 5 times. So you need to bring the inverse, which is what? Divided by 5, because it is multiplication. Divided by 5. So 5 divided by 5. So you have 1. So you have your x. 1x ordinarily, but we don't have, mathematically, we don't write the 1. Are you getting it? Hope it is clear. So that is inverse operation. So let me take the definition again. Inverse operations are pairs of mathematical operations that undo each other. You can see how plus undo minus, minus undo plus. How multiplication, division undo multiplication. So this is how inverse operations work. Are you getting it? Let's proceed. Let's bring examples from our last lesson assignment. We have, from our assignment in the last class, we have three. Let me write at the top. We have 3x minus 4 equal to 8. Yeah, let me explain this better to you, because math is simple. Math is fun. Always have this at the back of your mind. To solve any equation, be it linear, any equation, the first thing you need to do, you look for a way to isolate your x. This is your variable. You need to look for a way to isolate your variable. This is your variable, the x. In this equation, 3x minus 4 is equal to 8. This, like this, is like a bird in a cage. A bird inside a cage. How do you think you can isolate the bird? How do you think you can free the bird to fly away? Do you have any idea? A bird inside a cage that is locked. Yeah, to free the bird, the first thing you need to do is what? Is to unlock the padlock. That's the first thing. You unlock the padlock. Then what follows? Then you open the door to the cage. You open the door. Then the bird flies away. So this is like, this minus 4 is like your padlock to the cage. This is like your padlock to the cage. So you first try and eliminate this. Then after that, you open the door. This is like the door to the cage. Then your bird will fly away. Your variable will fly away, will be isolated. Are you getting the point? Yeah, so the first thing, you unlock your padlock. So your 4, you look for a way to eliminate this. So from our inverse operation, what do we do? The 4 has what? It has an operation of what? Minus. Are you getting it? It has an operation of what? Minus. So to eliminate this minus 4, I told you earlier that any value or number written has its own operation. Like this 3 is having what? Plus. This 8 is having plus, but it is not written. Are you getting it? So this minus 4, to eliminate it, to isolate it from your bird, from your variable, your bird in the cage, to free it, you need to what? To bring the inverse. So the inverse of minus 4 is what? Who can tell me? Yeah, correct. Plus 4. So plus 4 is the inverse of minus 4. So you then add that plus 4 to both sides. You add it to what? To both sides. So you had plus 4 to both sides. So you have 3x minus 4 plus 4 is equal to 8 plus 4. So you have your 3x minus 4 plus 4 is what? 0. So you've eliminated this what? This. So 8 plus 4, you have what? 12. So we are still left with the door of the cage to allow the what? The bird to fly away. This is our x, the bird. So this thing is attached to this x by what operation? Who can tell me? Yeah, you are right. Multiplication. So what is the inverse of the 3 attached to our variable? What? Who can tell me? You are right. Division. So we are going to bring divided by 3. So you divide both sides by 3. because it is the inverse of these 3. So you have 3x divided by 3 equal to 12 divided by 3. So 3 divided by 3, you have what? You have 1. So these 3 cancel this. Divided by, so you have 1. So you have your x, but the 1 is not written in front of variables. Then 12 divided by 3, this cancel. So we have 4. So that means our x is equal to 4. We are going to stop here for today. Yeah, we call it a day. But before we call it a day, we take a recap. A recap. Inverse operations are pairs of mathematical operations that undo each other. That is, they neutralize the effects of one operation. Minus neutralize the effects of plus. Plus also neutralizes the effect of minus. While multiplication neutralizes the effects of division. Division neutralizes the effect of. So they both neutralize effect of each other. Are you with me? Today, we've been able to explain what inverse operations are, and I believe you understand the class. If you enjoyed the class, subscribe to our channel, like, share the video with friends and family. Mathematics is simple. Mathematics is fun.